This intro is what really piqued my interest for the show. Now, I hadn't heard anything about it until my girlfriend recommended it. And this is coming from someone who has a checkered past with recommendations because she loved Ghostbusters 2016. Whereas I, on the other hand, yeah, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. But that's neither here nor there. So she recommended this because we were watching television and she saw that episode 10 popped. And I'm like, what the hell is this? She was like, yo, this is the show that I recommended a couple weeks ago. But me being me, I kind of brushed it off. I probably shouldn't have, because I would have made this video probably last week. But so we watched the finale and I was instantly intrigued and I was instantly hooked. The one thing that hooked me, aside from that intro, was the soundtrack. It felt so good. It worked really well with the show. And it's rare that you see movies and TV shows where the music, the soundtrack, just invoke different feelings. And this is what I got from this show. It was a mix of, kind of blues and just, contemporary. And it worked for the show. And it told its story in itself. And it mirrored just what the actors and actresses were going through. And the composer did an absolute bang up job with just the music choice. And it fit so well with the show that it just grabbed me and I wanted to continue to watch it. So I pretty much sat down today and watched episode 1 through 9. And then when I got to 10, I still watched it again because the show just really hooked me. And one would say third time's a charm for this TV show, because this was a rendition twice over. Now, I didn't know about the 1973 version that came before this, but I did see the 1997's version with Bruce Willis. And again, it fit for what the 90s thought of films. And it was just this crazy over the top action film that probably doesn't hold a candle to what I just watched today. And so the show just does so many things well. And that intro alone and just the feel of the show feels very James Bond-esque. And I am a huge fan of Ian Fleming and the James Bond series. And this just brings me back to just how the first couple Bond films that were remade, like, I enjoyed the original James Bond films, but the Daniel Craig ones were probably some of my favorites. And Casino Royale is still my favorite James Bond film. And this feels in tone, it feels in soundtrack, it feels in presentation like a James Bond film. And all the actors and actresses in this television show did such a good job. Lashana Lynch did such a good job. Eddie Redmayne did such a good job at playing these characters. And my God, again, that soundtrack just does so much more for the environment. And I really recommend this show. As I finish watching episode 10 and doing this video, it just got greenlit for season 2 and absolutely worth it. Every single episode of the show was really, really good. Even the downtime had so much weight to it that it didn't feel like downtime. It didn't feel like filler throughout the show. Matter of fact, that's one thing about the show that it did really well, was pacing. The pacing for this show was every step of the way exhilarating, exciting, and it was tension filled all across every single episode. The one thing that I like about the show too was the ingenuity of the sniper. He had some really good tech. His gunsmith, man, I really love stuff like that when it comes to these type of shows and movies and things like that. Just thinking outside of the box and making these crazy different weapons and crazy different things that he uses. And the man had a gyroscope of some sort, using it in the form of a sniper rifle. It was absolutely just nuts. And I can't, again, recommend this show anymore. Really, really good. Worth the time that you put into it. And each episode is about an hour long. But the writing itself, very, very espionage type. MI6 was the government agency, and it took the Brits to make this show what it needed to be, as opposed to what we got with the 1997 version of this from the United States. And again, At some point, I need to go watch the original from '73 just to see how it all originated. But dude, everything about this show was really good. Absolutely one of the best shows I've seen in a while. And I'm not one for like these spy thriller shows, with the occasion of a few. Like Jack Ryan was one of the ones that kind of captivated me. But she loves it, and she always recommended them to me. And you know, sometimes I'll pass over and sometimes I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't this time, because I thoroughly enjoyed this show. And I think anybody that sits down and sit for this 10 episode show will absolutely enjoy it. The writing was good. The soundtrack was good. The acting was on point. The composer, what an amazing job. Hands down. And just the direction of the show, I'm looking forward to see where it goes for season 2. And it ended not necessarily on a cliffhanger, but it left the door open for what I think might happen in the next season. But that's it, man. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recommend it to anybody that's sitting down watching this video. Until next time, guys, my name's Lincoln. This has been an RPG show. Like, comment, sub, and do all that stuff for the algorithm down below. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.